many of these families have fled from situations where they believed either they or their children would be killed or had no future because they were persecuted and couldn't go to school. So I think, again, if you think about hope and motivation, a lot of the time the parents have come because they wanted something better for themselves, or they wanted at least to stay alive. The other thing that's really upsetting and that parents can't protect their children from is the level of, adult distress and despair, including sometimes people shouting very loudly, crying very loudly. Some kids had seen someone try and jump off the roof. And when at times there have, kids have seen adults smash glass, try and cut themselves, drink detergent, drink hand washing fluid. And so, as I say, either if this is your parent, then the child obviously feels really anxious and really upset. What's going to happen? Am I going to lose my mum? What's happening to my mum or dad? And if it's not your parent, then you're still very exposed to the distress that's all around you. It's the same when so-called extractions or transfers of families happen. They often happen really early in the morning when people are still in bed, and sometimes families or people get very distressed when they find they're going to be transferred to Nauru or somewhere else. And so kids are seeing adults crying, they're seeing their parents taken by officers, they're having to leave behind maybe the one or two friends they've made or the one toy they've created. And I think when parents can't see any future for their children, or the future they see is very dark, then that adds to their own distress and their own guilt about what they've brought their children into. When adults, especially parents, get to the point of harming themselves, particularly when that's happening in front of their kids, I mean, what they're doing, what some of these parents have, what's happening is that sometimes people feel very desperate and it's very impulsive. So there's a kind of overwhelming feeling of anger or sadness or grief, and people might find something sharp and try and cut themselves. There was a kind of awful logic to the suicidal wish of some of the mothers that we spoke to, and that was that they believed that some of the unaccompanied children had been transferred to Australia and placed in the community after they had self-harmed. And so the wish really of these mothers, the kind of belief they had, was that if they were dead, their children would be treated like unaccompanied minors and perhaps then receive some kindness and be able to live in the community rather than behind the bars. These are people, they are human beings with the same hopes and dreams as the rest of us. One little girl said to me, "I wish my mum would stop crying and I wish I could go to school." I've heard a lot of parents and some of the older kids say, "We thought we would die on the ocean and now we're dying slowly."